Great, Andrew. Hello there.
Hello, James.
Thanks for joining me on screen. How's your week been? Any highlights?
Well, like a lot of people, very quiet. No highlights, no excitement, not really. Lots to be done in the garden, but I seem to have a pile of bags creeping closer and closer to the house with garden rubbish in. So I'm just waiting for the dump to open.
Well, that sounds very exciting. Andrew, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself? I mean, lots of us see you around at St Matthew's as one of the wardens, but could you tell us a bit about your past, sort of where you're from, and some of the things you've done through the years?
Well, I was born just up the road at Kingsbridge, and I was raised there in a Christian family. My mother was a Methodist, so my early years were spent at the Methodist chapel in the Sunday school and things like that. I went to a local school, keen rugby player, cricket player, and I also played in the town band, in the silver band. So I played a cornet in the silver band, which was.
Oh, I didn't know that. We'll have to get you up the front.
That's right, great fun. But at 15 and 3 weeks, or the age of 15 and 3 weeks, I joined the Royal Air Force as an aircraft apprentice airframes. And I spent the next 3 years then until I was 18 near Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire, doing my apprenticeship, both trade and education as well. So it was a great start. When I graduated at 18, fortunately, I was posted to Cyprus, which was a great delight because there was plenty of rugby and cricket while I was there. So that was fine. And over the years, I spent most of my years, 37 years in total in the RAF, climbing up the ranks, and eventually came down to Plymouth on an exchange tour with the Royal Navy, and spent 4 years at the Royal Naval Engineering College at Manadon on the staff there, where I was the band officer for my pains.
Can you tell us what title we should call you by? What's your?
Just Andrew. Just Andrew.
You're not a squadron leader or something?
Well, I was, yes,
okay.
But I'm retired now. So
that'll do.
Andrew is fine. Yeah.
Right. So you went through that for a long time, and.
Well, 37 years in total, until I retired at Manadon in 1994. But by that time, other things had happened. My first wife died when she was 38 and left me with 3 children. But the RAF came good and they were excellent and helped me. And several years later, my daughter wanted to learn the piano. And I couldn't find a piano teacher until one day her teacher said, "Oh, here's a lady. She's very good. Why don't you give her a ring?" And so I did, and I met Angela. And so to cut the story short, we eventually married, and this year we celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary. Wow. So it's been great. It's been great.
Thank you for giving us a bit of an overview. And then so you retired a few years back. What have you sort of been up to in those years? I guess you've had the new family situation to adjust to and enjoy.
Well, we only had 2 of the children here with us, both of our youngest, Angela's youngest son and my daughter, while they finished school, and then Lindsay went on to university, and Nick went off and joined the RAF as well. So we had them for a while, but not too long. So that was good. So a lot of the time we've been by ourselves, really. So
have you got any secret hobbies we might not know about?
Secret hobbies? Well, mainly I like gardening. I'm a bit of a John Wayne fan.
Right.
From my early days as a boy on Saturday morning cinema with all the cowboy films.
Well, perhaps next time you could do a few little impersonations for us.
Try anyway. Okay. But that's it.
Great.
you know.
Thank you. Andrew, could you tell us a bit more about your sort of your journey of faith, how the Lord became real to you? How did that all happen?
Well, I think because I was raised as a Christian in a Christian home, as I said, I went to Sunday school, always believed, never had any doubt that there was a God and that Jesus had lived and things like that. I didn't know a lot about it. I didn't give a great deal of thought to it, but over the years, it was there. And of course, when my first wife died, that kind of, I started praying, and that really concentrated the mind, you know, and I started praying and asking for help, and I got it. Absolutely wonderful help. So I was always thankful. But I suppose my faith really grew was when I met Angela, because she was a Christian, been from a Christian family. Grandfather was the vicar, but he'd been the chief honcho in the RAF for many years in the Padres branch. So yeah, that's when it really started. And of course, we moved down here in 1990, and Angela wrote to CPAS to ask for the address of a good evangelical church. And we were living in Elberton at the time, and they said, "Oh, it's down the road from you." So we toddled along to St. Matthew's, and we've been there ever since.
Oh,
so pretty well 30 years now.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So, and my faith has grown. My faith has grown thanks to Ken Coombe, who was a lovely, lovely gentleman, and to Rod, and now it's continuing now.
Oh, great.
So, you know.
Is there a particular Bible verse or anything that sort of helped you on that journey?
Well, the thing is, there's lots. Every time you pick up the Bible, you find another verse, don't you? Which is nice, you know. And God gave His only Son, you know. And Jesus says, "What is it? This commandment I give you." And then Paul says in Ephesians, doesn't he? By grace we are saved, and things like that. And those verses are smashing. But I've got a little card which I carry in my wallet all the time. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it across?
Yeah.
And on it, it says, "I asked Jesus, how much do you love me? This much," he answered. And he stretched out his arms and died. And I carry that in my wallet. So I think that says it all.
Thank you, Andrew. That's great. Thank you. Well, Andrew, while you're here, and hopefully most of St. Matthew's is watching, is there anything you'd like to say to everybody while you've got the camera on you?
I think just to say hello. I miss you all. I've been practicing my words of, 2 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. I sometimes wake up in the night saying it. But no, I certainly miss the gatherings, the service on Sunday mornings, and just seeing everybody and being able to talk to people, just to see how they are, and just have a pleasant 5 minutes with them, you know. So that's what I think. That's what I miss more than anything. I'm not used to being isolated.
Well, God willing, we'll be back there in the not too distant future.
Yeah, that would be great.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, I've asked you if there's a favourite hymn or you'd like us to sing today. Could you tell us what you'd like and why?
Well, one of my favourites at the moment is "It Is Well With My Soul," and the gentleman who wrote it after a disaster when he lost his 4 daughters in a shipping accident in the Atlantic, and he got a telegram from his wife which said been involved in the collision, and in the telegram just said, "Saved alone. All 4 daughters had drowned." So, and on his way to join her in England, he wrote this hymn on the ship as he was sailing across, and it's a lovely, lovely hymn.
and are you saying that it has lots of meaning behind it? Is that what?
Yes, yes. I think we all meet with disasters or something, or we can do, but there's always someone there. There's always a higher authority to reach out and catch you safely.
Bless you, Andrew. Thank you so much. We'll
Okay.
have a sing of that together now.
All right. Thanks, James.